guess what? I got a Discord server.
Happy Valentine's Day. Don't do that one. Don't do that one. Do the other one.
Oh
Do
my
the
god.
other one.
No,
Do
please
the other
no.
one.
You're like my old ass grandma. Oh god. She is hot, but you're not hot.
It's marginally better. I like it significantly more.
I don't know.
We can hear you.
We hear.
No, we can hear you.
No, I
Oh,
can't
my
hear
bad.
you on the stream. No, I
Oh,
can't.
my
I'm
bad.
muted as usual on the
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. You're muted, BCG. Everyone else I can hear. Here.
As usual. As usual.
Wait, when did we get this background music?
Audio malfunction.
Yeah, we've always had. Every podcast.
Every
It's not-
podcast.
It's not National Creation podcast without audio issues. It's not even just us. It's like every other podcast that does Ashes of Creation always has audio issues too.
Mm-hmm. Is the Ashes of Creation to curse?
Start topics without you? Okay. So, cosmetics is one of our first topics. Opinions. Anyone else want to? Anyone like cosmetics? What are your opinions?
I mean, I have a lot of opinions on this. I think the cosmetics of the past couple months have been subpar in my compared to what they were cranking out at the end of 2020. So I think it's kind of buns right now, kind of not good. I mean, this is RP wet dream. This is RP or wet dream, but for everybody else, it's like, meh.
You didn't like the January or December ones?
Nah. They've increasingly been less interesting to me. I've purchased less and less from each one of those packs. Before I was like buying the whole sets, but now it's like they're not as good recent months.
I don't know. I like this one though. It's really nice.
I don't
Like
like
I get why he like you would see the role playing aspect of it because it's potential. so much potential.
RP on that shit. Yeah, there's just so much RP on it. It doesn't appeal to me, so I'm like, that's not for me. It's a different crowd.
My thing is like you say that you didn't like the last like so technically like from the way I see it since like March of last year the cosmetics have been like significantly better in terms of like art wise because like
okay, I'll stop you there. Art wise, yes, I mean they're still doing an amazing job if you compare it year over year, like where they came from. Art wise, for sure. Thematically, they've missed the mark in the past few months, in my opinion. It's been either playing it safe or trying to go a little bit too far out in like left field with some of the stuff that they've been putting out there.
But I mean, they're trying to hit the season as usual. Like every season that comes up.
I think that's a problem too. Like you try to get too close to the season and then you kind of go a little bit too far with it. I mean, I know it's Valentine's Day, but
every year in February they always do.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
If you look at last year's Valentine's versus this year, it's like night and day better. But I'm just saying, it's like I don't know. It just
last year was a masquerade ball thing, and I was like,
I don't either.
This year, you like it, Faisal? This year, you like
I like it. I like the crown as well, even though I feel that there's a little bit of missing jewelry on the crown itself. Because I worked with my cousin at the jeweler's place, so I'm kind of a little bit picky about these things. Other than that, I really like the clothes, the details, and how they look. It gives that Italian Renaissance look, or French look, you would say.
European, kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boat is nice. I don't know how big it is. Is it just the aesthetic look, or is it very small? I have no idea.
This is
the tiny.
So there's like 3 classifications of ship that we know of. There's the frigate. It's like the frigate's the second. The galleon is the
galleon.
biggest, and I don't remember what the smallest classification is, but I'm guessing that this one is part of the smaller classification.
Yeah, like the rowboat class or whatever.
I don't think so.
Try it again.
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it.
I'm not hearing it either.
Rip.
So, Stackerson, what's your opinion on it?
Similar to what's been said, it's not really my style. Although I really like the corgi.
I think, my opinion, I think the corgi is the only thing. I mean, the only thing that people are gonna buy just because it's a corgi. It's a cute little corgi with clothes on it. It's not the only thing people are gonna buy, but it's like the only thing in my opinion that's like really stands out in this set because it's like a joke thing. It's like a joke pet. Like it's not. It's a dog with clothes on it with a little crown. It's cute. People are gonna buy it because it's cute. I'm more in the I don't like this one kind of category. The freehold cosmetic I like. The corgi's a cute pet. We've seen Pegasus before. This is just a red Pegasus with some barding on it, by the way. Getting back on the barding thing. Or is this even a Pegasus?
I think it's
I was
Pegasus.
it looks like a Pegasus.
Yeah, I mean,
Could be an alicorn.
Nah.
Oh,
got a
but I
horn.
think that horn is part of the barding.
You think it's part of the barding, not part of the Pegasus?
It kind of looks like it's
yeah.
part of the barding.
I could,
All right, so it's
I also just
it's a
wanted to say
Pegasus.
barding.
Yeah, it's a Pegasus that has gold barding on it. We've seen
Now
Pegasus
they
before.
should hear me.
I don't know. Wait. Say something
Yeah,
again.
yep. I can hear you. On the screen.
Hazel is a wannabe supermodel.
Yeah, you're coming through on the.
Fuck yes.
Yep, you're coming through.
Fuck you, OBS. I am the Master Supreme.
So, yeah, it's a Pegasus. We've seen Pegasus before. The clothes are clothes. They're not like something I would imagine
Yeah.
this is an RP. This is an RP
Yeah.
costume set.
this whole set is RP in my opinion. I mean, even the freehold piece is like is freaking RP because it's really just what is it? Isn't it like a gazebo or something like that?
It's a gazebo. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. What purpose does it serve on your freehold?
I am
just
very yeah, exactly.
Is it just a gazebo? Is it just there to make your fucking freehold look good, or does it go on something?
It looks like it's like a monument of some kind. Like you'd have
Mm.
some statue on your freehold.
Oh, hey, if it was like the religion piece that we don't know very much about, maybe I could see that.
See,
I could see that.
but if it's like that, I agree with that, and that's what I assume some of these are. But like, it doesn't say that anywhere, and it's like,
Well, if it's
Yeah,
a
we'll have to
religion,
speculate.
if it's a religion piece, then one of the gods looks like a Pegasus.
Oh yeah, because
I mean, one of the
the
dogs.
gondola has the golden Pegasus on the front too. So that's I
Yeah,
can see
and there's
that,
a
yeah.
Pegasus statue within it. Okay,
Yep.
so how do I phrase this without pissing anybody at Intrepid off? Fuck it. Okay, art-wise, awesome,
Mhm.
perfect. Like
Agreed.
nothing like to bitch about. Theme-wise, why does everybody look like Queen Elizabeth now, right? No need
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
Queen Elizabeth
Okay,
with dope.
okay, theme-wise,
The
you
female
know,
model
it's
is hot though on this.
yeah, I
on this, she's
mean,
pretty hot.
it's taste-wise, but you know, I don't want to see like a tank run around looking like that. It's like, oh, look at me, I'm a fancy
Yeah.
princess. Bitch slap.
I kind of want to
Um,
see that. That'd be
Oh,
funny.
of course you want to.
I don't even
But
see Macy's
here's
wearing
my
that.
problem now. Here's my problem now.
You're not locked into a specific gear, so you can run around naked
Yeah,
or with
no,
cloth if
exactly.
you
But
want.
here's my issue now with all the like recent cosmetics or whatever. We get all these fancy looking cosmetics. You know, we get the ones that represent, you know, like the culture, like you know, like the Vex stuff, like the Pirate. You know, all that stuff. Yeah. Why don't we get like cosmetics that show like, you know, people fighting for their fucking lives, like really rugged, rough things, like from the apocalypse when everybody was like running away? Why don't we see like broken tank armor on, you know, a dwarf or something like that? Why do we have to go with
So
these?
you want a cosmetic that is battle damaged?
Yeah, exactly. Something that is more.
We're like thousands of years past that.
I
though.
know,
Like,
I
no
know,
one's-
but dude, literally, we have a fucking corgi cosmetic. Don't come at me with like
I'm
your
aware, I'm
specific
aware.
fucking bullshit right
Don't
now.
throw in the
Alright?
corgi. What is that supposed to
No,
mean?
I'm just saying. Okay, we're getting all these cosmetics. You know, we're getting all these fancy looking cosmetics that certain people buy, other people don't. I would like to see cosmetic packs, you know, that have a little bit more immersion when it comes to the game. Something that, you know, is a little bit more on the immersion side, that looks badass, looks like a cosmetic, but it also relates way more to the actual game than a fucking corgi with a fucking crown on its head. Oh yes, Vera is falling. Let's save the corgis.
Oh, this one's
I'm just saying,
I'd say the
it's
corgis.
a fucking
Going
corgi
back
with a
to my-
crown.
My initial statement, man, this is RP paradise right here. If you're an RPer, you're loving the shit out of the set, and you're probably buying everything.
I'm with you 100% on this. This is an RP set, which is kind of sad because like my expectations for this, like leading up to this, like a month, like December, like not December, January, after like the first cosmetics were like said, people were like saying, oh, we would like we're more interested, like we would be interested in seeing like this shit set looks cool. We'd be also interested in seeing like something more like this. And Margaret was giving hints out for like you might be seeing that in the next set. And but like for like I was expecting a like silvery, like very feminine looking, like silvery kind of armor.
Remember during the last podcast when we talked about community members designing cosmetic sets?
Mm-hmm.
It's time for that.
It's
It's just time for that. Nothing against Margaret or whoever makes these, but you know, get some new ideas, some fresh ideas from the community.
I don't think we should do that yet until we actually have a game. Just because also like you don't know what you're designing for. I mean
Yeah.
they're able to at least ground this
At
in
this time, it
in
doesn't
Vera.
matter. We have fucking corgis.
Okay, but it's
Also
still
with corgis again. I don't
Corgis-
see the
corgis-
problem
game.
here.
For me, the corgi is just making a point that it is the corgi for me at this point. After what was it called? Stufferton, right?
so
Yeah.
you
So,
find the corgi.
Stufferton was here. The corgi takes it to here on a scale of anything goes now.
So you're finding you find the corgi immersion breaking.
I find the corgi. Why? Okay, let me ask you this. So we have guys that look like they're from, you know, like, you know, England in the like, I don't know, 1700s, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then my train of thought goes, okay, the guy looks like he's from England, right? The guy looks like he's a fancy guy from England. Okay, England, hierarchy, majesty, corgi. That's my train of thought.
Like you think like most people when they think corgi, they consider that's like an English dog. Like, I'm
Yes,
pretty sure,
because it's the queen's dog. God save the queen. It's the freaking queen's dog. And the guy
Yeah.
and the lady and everything else in the cosmetics that just it pushes that whole theme more towards yes. It's not looking bad. I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna say. Just saying, it's fucking corgi. Why can we not
I really
have?
don't think it's that big.
Why
of a
can
deal.
we not have like slimes? We don't have slime pets.
we haven't seen slimes. This is true,
Exactly.
but I don't, like we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen or heard anything from the slimes. Like
I'm
so
not
there were some
shit
people who-
talking the queen. I just said God save the queen. The queen is badass. Shit
Oh my
talking at
God,
corgis.
BCG. From all the creatures of the world, why does it have to be the slime?
I don't know, because slimes are badass. Slimes are literally in almost any fantasy game. There's slimes in almost every.
In what world are they badass?
I know slimes are badass. They're so badass. They're making it in
Hey,
every
they're
fucking
annoying
game.
as hell in
I
Valheim. That's for
know.
sure. They're annoying as fuck
I
in
have. I
Valheim.
just started playing that
Okay.
yesterday. I have not gotten there yet, so looking forward to
Beware
it.
the slime in Valheim. That's all I gotta say.
Ooh.
So there are a few people that actually were wanting slimes, and like we haven't seen anything like that yet, and we don't know if slimes will be in AOC at all. But there
It
are
would
community
make
members.
sense. It's high fantasy setting, like
Yeah,
like,
like
you were saying,
slimes
like
are-
it makes sense.
slimes are traditionally a high fantasy kind of creature, like almost as traditional as your basic giant rats or fucking dragons, even.
Do we ever had? Do we? We didn't have a rat mount yet.
No, we haven't had a rat mount.
You see,
The
that's
rat mount would
another.
actually sound pretty dope. That actually sounds
What are they
pretty dope.
called from Vermintide? What's a rat? What's a rat race?
Skaven.
Skaven? Yeah, Skaven.
Dude, a Skaven themed
Skaven, yeah.
pack with a
Dude.
rat mount.
The whole Skaven like race in general is just amazing. Like the whole society and hierarchy is
Most
crazy.
people that are going, like a lot of people that are going Tolnar are basing their Tolnar off of Skaven.
Really?
That's freaking dope. Actually, I'm torn until I see Tolnar. I'm running Orc, but if they release some dope ass Tolnar shit, we're running Orc. This is probably why I also hate this pack too, because it reminds me of the human race in this game that I hate. So it's another reason to hate this fucking pack. But
My man.
oh man. Yeah, we're going Orc until we find something about Tolnar. If Tolnar is more badass, then we'll switch to Tolnar. Otherwise, it's Orc all the way.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Orc all the fucking way.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
You should totally go with that.
No, like I said, again.
Okay.
The only thing in this pack I see myself actually probably maybe using is the Freehold cosmetic. I have a boat. I have the boat that I think this boat goes into the classification for, that I think I would use already. It's a nice looking boat, but
I want to state it is a good looking pack. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Let's
Agreed.
get more
No,
like
our
rugged.
Two
Our team
RP,
crushed
it's-
it again.
Yeah,
team
it's
crushed
2
it again.
RP. Yeah.
it's 2 RP.
Like what I wanna what I wanna like see is like, you know, we for example, how many VEC packs did we get so far? 2, right? 2 or 3?
2 or 3, yeah.
So what I would like to see, or for, it doesn't have to be the VEC, it can be any race at this point, right? Is like the way that I imagine it in my head, the way it goes in my head is that the corruption doesn't corrupt Vera like instantly. It happens over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we already had like several packs that kind of hinted at, you know, corruption. So what I want to see is like I don't know, Vec mage fight like being halfway corrupted. You know,
Bro, don't tell me you're going Vec Mage too.
I'm going fucking Warlock, bro. It's
bro,
the only fucking thing to
twins,
play.
bro. We're almost
Hell
twins
yeah.
right there, dude.
This is
I'm going Vec Mage, baby.
Fucking
BCG
Tell me
is
the hovel pack where there was all the wizard like woods with the black and the blue. Do you remember that pack that came out? That shit was sick. That was like my favorite pack out of this.
You mean
whole,
with the blue mushrooms and shit where we
yeah, and with the whole mage set, like the whole like blue mage set.
Oh
was
yeah,
just
we
fun.
argued about that. We didn't.
yeah,
we,
we did. We
thought it was more druid.
I had shit.
It
I had
was
shit to say
it is
about
more
that.
druidish, but that shit is still like badass though.
Yeah.
For the mage.
I know,
I'll
like
still rock that
that's
shit.
what I'm saying. Like, let's get more of that
Yeah.
stuff.
With you on that. I'm with you. I see you, BC. We on the same level. We on the same level, man.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
All
what's the next topic? Because we were talking too much about over corgis.
All right, so next topic is you can talk about the Theory Forge interview. You can talk about the tank preview. You could talk about the dev discussion 27, which was ideal classes, which is kind of what you were already kind of talking about anyway. So that might be a good segue.
You want to get the server merge thing out of the way?
It's a theory crafting thing, and Stackerson just like dropped for a second, so you might want to wait until he gets back. Oh,
He did say that his computer crashed.
yeah.
What was
He said
the
he'd be back
dev?
in a
What's
minute.
the dev discussion about?
So dev number 27. Get to it. All right, dev discussion number 27. Ideal classes. Which of the 64 classes do you think will spend the most time playing? And what is the key element to making this your ideal class? Feel free to share your creative and crazy ideas, even if you may think
perfect.
they fit
That's a
the
perfect
usual class
segue.
mold.
Perfect. Let's talk about that. All right.
I think this is like, other than the previews, the alpha previews, which are not indicative of the final product, for each of the 3 classes they've shown, we know very little about a lot of the classes. So saying what are the key elements to making this your ideal class, I think is you don't even know what the key elements to most of these classes are.
Well,
That is true. I'll say this though, in regards to like ideal class in general, you want to have obvious strengths and weaknesses because you don't. I mean, yeah, it feels good to play the OP fucking class, but if everybody's playing OP class, then you're choking out all the other like class diversity in the game. So everybody's gonna be running the same thing. Like if it's gonna be mage or whatever, like everybody's gonna run it. So you got to have like obvious strengths and obvious weaknesses there, so that way people can play around you and you can play around your weaknesses as well. I mean, I play League of Legends all the time, and I know when champions are broken in League of Legends, it makes the game unfun. You have to either ban the champion or just lose the game because the champion's busted. So it's the same thing here. They need to make a like fair balance, and obviously they're balancing the game around large scale PvP, not small scale. So like for example, Mage can just totally like suck ass at small scale PvP, and I'd be totally fine with it as long as we have some really well defined strengths in big large scale PvP, and we also have some slight weaknesses in large scale. But I mean, those trade offs I think are appropriate, and those are fine. So if someone catches me slipping by myself, like running a caravan or like running on my own in out in the wild, and I just get wrecked, and so be it. But in large scale, I'm coming for that ass, you know. So as long as there's balance there, that's the important thing.
Because they're balancing it around like a rock paper scissors kind of thing, not like a 1v1 like group
Yeah,
content and rock paper scissors. It's
Yep.
not a
That's easier.
1v1.
Yeah, so they said they're gonna be broken classes for like small scale PvP. They're
Yeah.
kind of aware of that, so I'm fine
Yeah.
with that. As long as it's balanced in large scale, I'm totally fine because I'll come back for that ass in large scale. I'll
mean-
write that on my list. My list of people I have to go after.
As
But
we
what's it
just-
called? I kind of disagree with the point where you said like League of Legends mechanics, because MMOs are kind of a lot different than League of Legends, because in League of Legends you kind of just buy the items and you play the game, and the way the game is balanced is through either the character or the items.
True. I mean, that is a true point. But my reason for comparing League to this game though would be to balance out the windows of opportunity to engage those classes. So again, how mobile is the class? How quickly
Okay.
can your melees close the gap on other people? It's like abilities instead of items, you're balancing the abilities that these characters have
Okay.
at the end of the day.
Then,
So
then I
that's what
agree on
yeah,
that point. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to like picking like the ideal class, it's always like your own individual like playstyle. Like no matter what MMORPG I played, I always played like a corruption sort of damage over time, like an Affliction Warlock from World of Warcraft or Condition Necromancer from Guild Wars 2, because I find it more enjoyable to, you know how some people they like the big numbers, right? I don't have to have big numbers. I just want to see a lot of little tiny numbers slowly ticking down on my enemy. And the Warlock, at least,
DOT baby.
exactly. I hope the Warlock will be something like that, because even the whole package of the Warlock is that he is a corrupted mage that, you know, dabbled in something or is dabbling in, I don't know, curse magic, like with demons, something he's not supposed to, but he can also be used for good. So Necromancer for me is always that two-edged blade. Or Warlock, not Warlock. I'm talking about Warlock, not talking about Necromancer, sorry. Like the Warlock is always a two-edged blade, because he also can, in many lores, he uses his own life energy to do stuff. So there's a lot of management going on, not a lot of like instant burst or, you know, one-shot people, more like managing more things over a longer period of time in fights. And I hope that I don't have to have the Warlock. I hope the Warlock, the Mage Warlock, is not going to be good at 1v1 PvP. I don't have to have that. I rather have him be good at large scale PvP with like mass AoEs, like a lot of fears, a lot of, you know, slows, because that way for me I have a way bigger impact on larger fights when I can deal crowd control over a larger area or to more people at once than, you know, just killing one person. So that's what, for me, the ideal class would be, to, instead of be the one that gets all the kills, is the one that enables all the kills.
Yeah, you like more support class, but also doing DOT while you're supporting your team.
Yeah.
That's large scale PvP right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've always ran Ranger. Like I've always ran like Hunter and Ranger in a lot of MMOs, and I'm switching up this year. For Ashes, I want to go hardcore, like nuke mage. I just want to nuke people down.
Yeah.
And reading through the wiki, I've heard that you can't really necessarily one shot people in the game by design, but I want to be able to like maybe like 2-shot or 3-shot somebody. I think that'd be great. But then the trade off to that would be to like I have to be in place. I have to stay in a place to like cast this long ass spell, and people will have a chance to interrupt me. So I think there's like, you know, like trade offs like that. Like I want to be able to nuke people, but I want people to be able to kill me if I don't get my nuke off in time. And that's what I'm hoping that the balancing team does.
I'm pretty sure there will be ways to one shot people. I'm pretty sure, and then it gets patched. Like I remember back in World of Warcraft Classic, like classic, not like the current like retail new classic, the classic, the destruction mage. There was a certain I remember the what was it called? There was a potion. There was a certain item that you used, and then you could just one shot people with your fireball. That was kind of fun. What about you, Staggerson? You're looking a little bit deep in thought.
Yeah, it's one of those things I don't actually know yet. I like my tanky melee DPS, so I'll be playing a fighter, but I don't know what my role will actually be in a group. If I'm going to be a burst, it'd be nice if if my role is to just burst people in the back line, then it'd be nice to hopefully the Shadow Blade. I preferred if I was able to play kind of a greedy tanky DPS class like a High Sword or a Dreadnought, but in a lot of games, playing that kind of play style, you can't do enough for your group, so it's not worth having.
That's kind of true.
I
wonder how significant. Oh, good.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wonder how significant the respec will cost you, because like I could see you specking at like maybe on like solo content, like when you're trying to do solo stuff to
So
fight.
a lot of people don't like. I don't think a lot of people understand fully how the augment system really works, and I end up having to explain to a lot of new people like this isn't. You're gonna have your 8 base archetypes, and then you're picking a flavor, like a different flavor when you're picking a secondary class. You're just like it's gonna work a lot. Like how I see it working is a lot like how in Arcade the Ascension system worked. And I had to explain that to people, and people like go in like everyone and their mom. You go on the Discord, and there's fuck tons of people saying, "I'm gonna go Necromancer. I'm gonna go Necromancer." And it's like because they're thinking like it's gonna be like each of these 64 classes are gonna be super unique and different from just the base or like the base archetypes or from each other. And I'm like, no, you're gonna have your 8 bases, and you're gonna have a little bit of flavor from your secondary that's going to change it. Like they're going to change up the look and a little bit of the numbers from the class, but it's not going to be like, oh, Necromancer is vastly different from just a normal summoner or like any other summoner archetypes. And plus, people pick Necromancer just for like the fucking.
I feel like a lot
It's
of
also
people.
just a class that's not very prevalent in a lot of games. So.
I feel like a lot of people will be really disappointed when the class system comes out.
It's going to edgy. Like people pick the Edgelord classes, which is.
I mean,
I feel like it's gonna evolve as the alphas go on, though.
No, what I mean is, I feel like a lot of people think that they're gonna have like I don't know, tank summoner is gonna be completely different to tank bard or tank rogue or whatever. And
yeah, so the understanding with this group is it's gonna be like Arcade, right, where they have like the slight variation. Okay, yeah, so
that's what I understand, because I don't see there being a huge impact on, skill wise.
And from a balancing standpoint, that'd be insane if they made them like extremely unique, like some people were assuming. Like,
I mean, look at World of Warcraft. They have I don't know how many classes now, and how many of those classes have different builds like Affliction Warlock, Warlock is Affliction, Destruction, Demology. And they added over a period of 15, 17 years. So now Ash is coming in with 8 classes and 64 subclasses. There will be differences, but I don't think it's gonna be like maybe some stat difference, like turning something into a damage over time thing, or turning something into an instant teleport. But I think Intrepid needs to double down on the explanation that it's not 64 complete different classes. Because a lot of people will
marketing tool for sure.
I know they do. I know. Like every time I watch some other content creator, bigger content creator, or read something on the internet in the comment sections, like they all say 64 different classes, and I'm like, sitting here, I'm like trying to think, should I sit down now, take 15 minutes and explain this to him? Done that too often.
I mean, technically, it is 64 different titles.
Yeah,
Like, you have
titles, but
64
not
different titles.
classes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have 64 different titles, so they're technically not like lying about that. So, I mean, I think what's left to be seen is how much of your
Yeah.
subclass, how much that's impacting your primary class, and I think Stackerson mentioned earlier, we just don't know. Like, we don't know what we don't know. So I think it's kind of the jury's still out on that. But the more it impacts, I think they're going to tweak that a lot during alphas. Honestly, that's I think that's the biggest piece right there. Is like, if I do this subclass, like whatever, like, you know, mage rogue, like how much is that rogue impacting my primary archetype? Is it significant, you know, or is it just flavor?
That's what I'm saying. Like when we don't know the key elements to any of these classes, like any of the classes really, and outside of the 3 videos we've seen so far and what's been played in the alpha, you don't know anything about the classes. So like this topic seems not only like an extremely more theory crafty than any of their other topics, but like, I don't know, kind of premature.
I wouldn't say premature. I would say
Speculative.
I think the idea is to let people kind of just let their imaginations go wild, and so they can just see what people are saying and what people are hoping for.
It is also the time for people to kind of put a wish list out there on what they want to see with how these subclasses
I think
work.
it's too late for that. I think they should have already like locked down like the augmentations and how they're gonna work.
I feel like anything related to combat is still out for play, man. Anything related to combat is
I mean,
still fair game.
The combat by itself, yes, but the augmentation.
I feel like this is part of combat though, because this is impacting the way you do combat. I mean, yeah, I get your point on the actual combat mechanics, but I'm talking about combat in general. It's still impacting combat at the end of the day, and their combat system is the biggest like risk and question mark that I've had since the beginning of watching this stuff. Is like they've gone back to the drawing board on this.
Okay,
and
I would.
like they're still going back to the drawing board on this. So I'm concerned, and they need to like really hash it out there in Alpha 1 and Alpha 2.
I mean, I agree with that, but what I'm trying to say is, if they at this point do not know exactly what every augmentation does with every archetype at this point, then yeah, we're looking at like still like a lot of years to it.
Not necessarily. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I don't think you can really. I'm sure they have general ideas of what the different augments are supposed to do.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Like at least on paper,
actually,
that's what I'm talking about. Just at least on paper, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Not like in game done. I'm just talking on paper. Because if that's not there yet, then you know
that's where the evolution comes in, though. Like they put that theory down of what they think is going to happen with these classes. They put it in the game, and everybody has a negative reaction to it. They have to go back and change that. They have to. Like during alphas, if everybody comes back with the alpha say this shit sucks, then they're going to change that. They have to, or you know what I mean. Like, and that's what everybody's got to give that honest feedback at the very beginning of the alphas.
It doesn't. You see, it doesn't even have to be like playable or video. You know how we like right now we're getting like, okay, this is what a tank does, and then, you know, written text, these are the abilities and whatsoever. They can do like, this is the tank, these are all his subclasses, this is what the augmentations of each subclass do, then get feedback from the community. I don't need to see the play it, but I, you know, get a general idea of what does what, and then you can get feedback that way. Then you can implement that feedback before you go and make, you know, special effects and whatever.
Are we done with the discussion?
Yeah, I want to talk about the tank video.
We don't know enough. Is that what it? Okay, tank video.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about the tank video. I fucking love the tank video.
I have thoughts on this shit. That's for sure.
All right, you want to know why I love the tank video? You only asked me why I love the tank video.
New animations.
Oh, you fucking asked me why I love the tank video.
Why do you love the tank video?
Simple. I will tell you. Because first up, simple fucking animations. Simple fucking animations. And no levitating.
No levitating.
But levitating was a given, though.
Shut the fuck up. No, that's why. No, I'm saying the animations, they're on point. There's just one or two where I'm like, okay, cool, this is taste thing, but fucking love the tank stuff.
That's
fucking
the
love the tank stuff
that I've gotten from most of the people. Like most people haven't been happy with the other 2 class videos, just based on the animation wise. The other class 2 class videos based on the animations. tank, I haven't gotten that response. I haven't seen or heard that response. It's like people enjoy the animations that they've seen in this tank video.
No, the,
I enjoyed the tank video, yet I have some comments that and some animations that I kind of disliked. Where
we're talking-
basically, if you looked at most of the animations, anything that's AOE on the ground, it's lava based.
Mm-hmm.
Something
yeah.
spews out.
Yep, that's my complaint too.
Yeah, if they would have changed that to like a mini earthquake or something, it would have been a lot better. It's just that the fact one tanks aren't mages. How is this lobby spewing? What is this abnormal strength? And two,
which one do you not like? Which one is it? What's it called?
I
It's
forgot
like
that word.
Resonate and Smash, and what's the other one? It's the step down, the Shockwave.
Yeah,
It's like the last two.
Last two.
One he steps and it like does this like lava burst, and
Yeah.
then the other one he jumps in the air and smashes down and does like this like stream of like molten
Yeah, I see that.
effect. And yeah, no, I agree. I feel it's too magey to me. I wish there was something that made it seem more
of a tank vibe.
kind
I
of.
don't know about you, but I got distracted by all these mobs that they were demonstrating against. They looked amazing.
There's one that I don't. Let me find it.
That was nice. There's a lot of mob diversity in this
the
video.
weapon. Okay,
Yep.
you know what? Let's go by. Let's go. We're gonna do this in order, right? We're gonna go one by one each of the skills, all right?
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is the weapon toss, right? Throws your weapon at a target, dealing damage, generates additional threat. Right? What do we think about that? Because what do we think about that?
Similar to the hammer that the cleric had. I wish it was like an overhand toss instead of like the freaking underhand chuck.
Yeah. But it's simple. It works.
I liked it. I like the sound it made too. The sound was really cool too.
I kind of actually like the toss with the tank because he usually wears like heavy stuff. It makes me feel that yes, he's putting a lot of effort just by throwing it, rather than from the overhead because that does a lot of movement. At least it's more realistic on my point of view.
I'm with Stackerson. Like the underhand toss, and like it also like it's underhand toss that like also bounces between enemies. You see it bounce between like 3 enemies in the thing. Like I don't know, that seems like the bounce like just like a heavy kind of like downward slash or downward like a tomahawk throw. Also seems kind of like warriorish to me. But like the bouncing between enemies kind of seems very roguish. Like I don't know when I think I don't know when I think warrior, I'm not thinking like, oh, he throws his weapon and then it bounces between all these enemies. Like that's more like a kind of like a ninja star or throwing knife kind of thing. Like when I'm thinking with like a throwing weapon. When I'm thinking warrior, I'm thinking like a heavy like
a
throw
pitch,
and
like a baseball pitch.
Like a baseball pitch or like a tomahawk throw.
I don't get the
agree. I
jump.
didn't think about that, but I kind of agree that the bounce, while it's a helpful mechanic, it kind of doesn't feel.
I don't get the jump animation.
For which one?
For the first one, for the weapon toss.
Yeah, well, I don't know why he just jumped randomly.
Oh, the jump spin.
Yeah, he throws and then he jumps, so that can be removed.
Extra flare.
Yeah, we know not needed.
It's a little extra flare. It's not needed.
Okay, so next one.
What's it called? But to give it a positive, the animation for it is actually pretty dope. You actually get to see the weapon to getting hit from one target to the other
Yeah,
At least that's clean.
It's a simple animation and it gets the point across.
Yeah.
You know how we talked about, you know, the effects animations are way over the top. With this one, they're on point. They're simple. You see it bounce, done. It works. You know what it does. You know what it does. Exactly.
So, I love calm BCG. It's just like
how wow, you want me to be like on crack? All right, so
I'm with Stackerson. I'm not a big fan of this one. With the underhand toss.
Okay, so the underhand, so the underhand toss and the jump are a little bit. Okay. Bulwark. Strikes the target, increase your block chance. Generates additional threat.
Super love this animation. It's just a simple like it's
Yeah.
it's a 2-bash thing. It's like a bash and then a bash.
It does everything that it has to do.
And you have a little icon floating above the head.
Yeah,
that
like you see,
symbolizes,
this
like,
is how,
hey,
this is a well done animation. Bum bum bum.
Yeah,
Bum.
I have no complaints.
Neither here. What about you two? Any complaints?
Not at all. I think this of the ones of the classes that have been revealed, I think this was obviously the most well put together one thus far.
Okay, next one is ultimate defense. Oh, wait, Faisal?
Faisal, what's your idea on the shield bash?
The shield bash, I like it. It's just that the first thrust is really nice, but the second one, the animation is a bit weird. It's like he's trying to hit with his elbow.
Yeah, I know what he means.
Rather than the shield itself.
I don't even know what he's doing
Which
at the second animation. What's he doing there?
It looks like he's supposed, instead of doing his elbow, he's supposed to like bash with his.
Yeah,
I think that's what they were going for, but
but
that
it
doesn't.
looks like you're bashing with your elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's a good animation. It's a good
Yeah.
animation. Okay. Okay. So next one up is, what was it? The ultimate defense provides increasing mitigation based on missing health, up to full invulnerability, reduces movement speed while active. So this is like a shield wall kind of thing. You know, you have 10% health left. This is when you pull this.
I
This
like
is the oh shit, we're in trouble.
Yeah, this is the oh shit, we're in trouble. This is like your World of Warcraft tank warrior avatar move.
I like the shield, like the 4 shields going around you. That's a thing. That's a classic, like a higher defense thing that almost all MMOs do. Like the 4
I don't
shield thing.
understand why it has to be fire though.
Yeah, that's
that's
what
the
my
thing.
homie Beeler said. Like he's like, why does this shit have to be fire? Why not earth based? You know, like stone or something. It's
No,
defensive.
it's just like, you know, with the bulwark, the little shields on top, just those instead of
yeah, that works too.
instead of the fire ones.
You could do the 4 shields. I'm with you. Like I don't understand why like the spiral thing comes down and then you have the smoke come. Like why the smoke?
No, you
Like,
see, here's
it's
my
very red and fire themed, and that's what the thing you get
Yeah.
with most of the tank skills.
here's my issue with this. This is for the tank, right?
Uh-huh.
For me, like fire and all that stuff on like a warrior type class, that for me yells berserker. So this, like, maybe for the fighter class, maybe that fits.
I just see fire as damage, and you're thinking tank more like sturdy, and so
Yeah.
I would go more earth. You know,
Yeah.
I'm also under the under the thought process that like tank right now in the alpha and the alpha 1 is more like a tank fighter mix because they don't have fighter out yet. I think we're gonna see some dramatic changes with tank later on down the line that makes it less of like, oh, I'm a tank fighter mix kind of thing going on.
But how I would love to see Bulwark, like the ultimate defense being changed is. Do you guys know how the apocalypse, when you actually use Bulwark, it would raise up a wall?
Yeah.
I would love to take that aesthetic and put it into shields.
Oh.
Or they just raise out of the ground.
That would be dope.
And like they're made of they're made of they're made out of stone.
Exactly. Not rocks, but stone, like bricks.
So
Yeah.
I think that
in the
kind of
next
dope.
in the next one in the next animation there's underneath them you can see like the stones kind of
Yeah,
floating
I'm gonna fucking bitch about that.
so the like I think what you're talking about is like maybe have the stone like levitating thing that like kind of spirals underneath it, have that for like where each of the shields pop up and then that forms a shield and that's how you end up that's the bulwark animation.
Yeah, that could work, maybe. Well,
All right. Next
Kind of just like a little ring of bricks around you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next animation. Or
Alright.
next thing, javelin pulls a target to your location, generates additional threat. I have no issue with this animation.
The scorpion get over here.
Yeah, get over here.
I love this one. This is amazing.
Except the rocks.
Yeah, I don't know why the rocks are floating.
The
underneath
rocks.
I kind of disagree on that, actually.
Why are the rocks floating up when you throw a spear? Please.
It's because the amount of strength that he puts on the ground fucking makes the rocks go up.
You're thinking
It makes-
Superman starting to fucking fly right now. You're thinking
Oh,
Superman
yeah.
starting to fly.
The thrust, the thrust needed to toss the javelin.
Right?
Yeah.
The something that maybe would
kinda
work
hoping.
is maybe the javelin passing through like the you know how when you know like the ring fighter jets do when they pass through the sound barrier or what like
Yeah.
that thing that would maybe work, but the stones coming up and they're floating like in midair when he pulls back, for me doesn't make any sense.
Neither does
Dragon Ball
yours,
Z,
to be
yeah.
fair. Like it's
Straight
not
up
going to the
Super
speed of
Saiyan.
sound.
It is like a Super Saiyan, like he's going Super Saiyan, like the rocks are floating up.
But he's not going Super Saiyan. He's playing
I'm where
fucking.
I don't like it either. BCG, like I like a simple javelin throw and then Scorpion,
done.
get over here.
Maybe, I mean, there's blood. If you do the video full screen like I have right now, I don't know if you guys can see that. There is blood coming from the guy that he pierced the freaking thing through. Right?
Yeah.
I like that. There can be more of that. Less stones, put the stones away, more blood. Done.
Yeah. 100% agree. Like
get over here.
Scorpion, get over here. It's definitely what it is. It's a Scorpion get over here move. And I don't agree with the stones. Stackerson?
Yeah, I'm same boat. I don't know why there's rocks.
I think this one is okay for me, 100%.
But besides that, yeah, it looks really good. Lacerate.
Next one would be
Lacerate. It's like a two slap. Like
Dash your target, dealing instant damage, beats the target over time, generates additional threat.
So
I kind of wish it was just one stab.
you slash the leg and then you stab your sword into his head, and then it looks like he takes damage over time.
Why? Something that I don't understand. Why is this a two-hand weapon animation on a tank class?
It seems more swashbucklery.
It seems more berserker, like sword.
I mean,
it's a simple animation, and I dig it. It is a simple, clean animation, and I like the way it looks. Except maybe the explosions at the end, but it's
It's not even that. The only thing that I kind of don't like about this one is that the fact that he sliced the first one, then the second, then on the second where he stabs the head, he lets go of his sword. Like, yeah, I'm done, bitches. you can have my sword. That throws me off so bad.
The sword like almost instantly disappears, and then like you get the little explosions in his head.
It's so weird.
But a question that I now have is, if you do this, do you lock the enemy in place?
No. It just bleeds him.
Why not do a bleeding animation? Like why the small explosions? Why not like have a bleeding animation to where like he's bleeding instead of like these small explosions? And like it doesn't require, like, you could do like 2 simple slashes and then that causes the bleeding animation. You don't need to stab your sword into his head.
It doesn't even have to be
ESRB rating teen and not mature. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question though.
It doesn't even have to be a two-hand slice. It can be single wing wing, bleed animation done. Right?
I feel like it's more swashbuckly. Like I don't feel like it's a tank kind of class, a tank kind of a skill. I don't, or a warrior tanky kind of thing.
Something that this might be, and it's Dylan, because Dylan just wrote something in chat. This might be like Execute from the Warriors in World of Warcraft. That you can only use that skill at a certain percentage, increased damage. That might be a thing.
Not like that.
I know. I'm saying it might be like that.
It's not. Can I talk about it? I mean, I assume we can talk about how it actually works.
I mean, you guys are in PI. I don't know what the rules are. If you guys want to talk about it, I'm not fucking gonna stop you.
Well, I mean, they show it, so it's like I feel like at this point we can just say what it is because they kind of tried to.
Let's hear some PI stuff. Let's go.
Don't have any other it's just a bleed.
It's just a bleed.
It's just a bleed.
Yeah.
You're shitting me. It's really just a bleed. I feel like
there's a few more components you can upgrade it, and it becomes a pretty good damage skill. But for the most part, the base skill itself, as it says, I mean, it's a bleed and threat generator. It's kind of just something you use in your rotation.
What's the cooldown on it?
It's relatively low.
I mean, if it's just a bleed, don't stab the guy in the head. Because if you stab a guy in the head, then it's not just a bleed for me. It's like, you're done. That's why I said execute.
I wonder how that transfers to different targets, because not every target's gonna be like a human target. Am I stabbing everything in the head? Or am I, you know what I mean? Like that ugly creature that we saw earlier. Am I stabbing that thing in the head, or am I stabbing it in the gut? Like, is it based on proximity?
It's literally in the description. It's literally in the description. Slice through your foes, lacerating slashes your target, dealing instant damage and bleed them over time, all while generating additional threat. So it's not like a finisher move. It's
Well, I mean, in this case here, they're stabbing him in the head. I'm saying, does that translate over to other like mob types that we're fighting? Where am I stabbing everything in the head with this animation?
I'm not sure. I mean, I assume you physically your animation doesn't change. Where the sword goes, if it like appears in their head, maybe.
that is something though.
Like I'm stabbing a dragon, but the dragon's kind of a lot larger than human. I'm stabbing a dragon in the neck instead because of the proximity.
Even like ones that are lower to the ground, or you
Yeah.
just like stabbing them like that. Yeah, it's.
What about those little dodo birds that Steven was killing in the original? Like, how does that look?
Yeah, a simple 2/ would have been fine. You don't have to do the whole 2/ and then like bleeding animation coming out of it. You've already done blood with the get over here thing. I don't think a little bit more blood will be raise the rating too much.
I
What
mean,
the hell?
honestly, it can be whatever it has to be, right?
No, change away from that.
Why?
I like it. I like the banana.
I will be a banana from now on for the rest of the
It
podcast.
is nightmare fuel. It is a thing of nightmares.
Oh,
But one thing, speaking of like the fire, I don't know if I like just the explosions during the slashes.
Like most of the tank animations seem to be based around like fire. Like even this is like small explosions. The last one had the spirals coming down in the smoke. You got the few of the other animations that are going to be red and fire based themes that we're going to be talking about here in a second.
Well, like if we go to the next one,
Yeah.
does anyone have anything else to say about the stabby stab of lacerate?
I don't have anything.
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, so Myrmidon. Did I say that right?
Myrmidon. Strikes a target, increases your damage mitigation, generates additional threat.
Because it just has like a slashing effect.
It's just
Yeah,
a sword
that's-
flurry kind of thing. It's simple and nice.
That's like my
What
animation.
does it look like when you have a shield in your hand?
Probably the same.
I assume it looks the same, just the shield.
Disappears
Probably if you
first?
look closely. No, I assume the shield will still appear in your offhand.
I don't think so because I so like every other one of these he has a sword and shield. Like every other one of these like things he has a sword and shield, and it's when he does the animation. I think this is when you activate the skill. It like the shield disappears for whatever reason, and you take the sword in two hands and start doing a sword flurry.
That's what I was assuming too. Like it just disappears for a sec.
I think the shield disappears for a sec.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like honestly, for me. This is an animation. This is like this is what I like. I don't need the over the top. Honestly, I don't. But this is like right up my alley.
I think the animation looks good, but I feel like it's almost too fast for a tank.
Yeah, that might be.
Agreed. It doesn't feel like a tank class. Like again, it does not feel like a tank class.
Which a lot of these skills are probably like fighter, possibly rogue skills.
Yeah.
Once we actually get the other classes.
Now they're just testing it.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is the.
Is it shock? No, it's onslaught.
It's onslaught. It's the charge, which is
I
simple.
love it.
I like it. I like it too. It's simple. I don't.
OP busted. It is good. It is good though.
Again, at the end, you see like the sparks come out and smoke. So like again, like the fire kind of theme going on. But I did like that simple, like just charge forward. I like it.
I really like the sound for it.
Yeah.
It feels really good to use. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Indeed, it's on point.
So You guys want to talk about Resounding Smash? That's the last one.
So you want to skip Shockwave and go to Resounding?
Oh, I skipped Shockwave. Oh, I just
Yeah.
let it play. Okay. So everybody likes Onslaught, right?
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
so.
that's really
Okay.
good.
Shockwave. I know you guys had some issues about Shockwave.
It just the lava aspect of it doesn't feel tanky. I mean,
Yeah.
the animation looks fine. It's the only thing is, yeah, it's just
Why
like
is it
why
lava and fire? Why not
Yeah,
just like a plume of smoke and rocks and dirt?
I can agree with you guys. Like if they change the element there, I think the animation is perfectly fine. Just changing that element to something other than fire, switch it
Go
up.
from red to brown.
I suggested being an earthquake instead of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
earthquake too, like a tremor. Yeah, like the ground cracking or something. You know
Yeah,
how the
just
torrent
like a
does like a
yellow.
little stomp or something. You know what I mean?
You already have like the ground cracking underneath. It's just like the top part is like this magma
The layer
shoots
thing.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
like,
that be rocks instead.
You don't need you almost don't need that. You could just simply have like the cracking in the ground underneath it, and then that be the skill itself. It's just simple.
Okay.
it-
Xavier from the Twitch chat just said, and this actually is perfect. Shockwave should have the rocks from Javelin.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be perfect. Like as you
Yeah.
lift your
Yeah.
leg,
Hey,
the
you
rocks
lift
go, and then you slam.
rocks
Yeah.
go up. You
That
stop the
makes
ground.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just like Hulk smash.
I like the cookie marginally better.
What's the problem with bananas?
It's hard to see your face on the cookie though.
I know. I'm playing around right now.
Oh, don't make me call Santa. He will eat your
Hey,
ass up.
listen. All right.
Oh God.
Oh god, he's
This is a
like,
little bit creepy.
running
I'm
out
gonna
Smurf.
lie. But no.
Smurf on some
Uh,
Adderall or something.
Okay, so next one, right? So
Next
everybody,
one is
everybody
Drew.
agrees with the lava and the shockwave, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the next
Good
one,
animation. Don't feel like the effect.
yeah. Resounding smash, same
Same
thing.
thing.
Beautiful
Yeah.
animation. Not
It-
feeling the effect.
Yeah, animation.
And just because of the
clean,
tank.
simple.
Like, is it like the
Like,
effect looks fine? It just doesn't look like it
You
would fit what a
go
tank
you go
does.
with a heavy downward smash. It cracks the ground. That's all great. The fact that it also like simultaneously when you crack the ground for whatever reason shoots fire forward. I don't understand that. It's not like the fire comes out of the ground like a lava thing. It's like you
If-
shoot fire forward.
If I had an enchanted weapon that spewed lava, I would understand. But
Yeah.
They do have the lava enchanted weapon.
They do have like a red and like the red fucking
Exactly,
thing.
that's
But,
what I'm
like,
saying.
this is a skill showcase, not a not a weapon show. Like not like if that's the case, then you're misleading with the skill.
Exactly. If I would understand this being an effect depending on what sort of weapon you have, because I can see the same effect with ice, earth, electricity, dark
But you
magic.
need to
What?
show that. You need to show that.
Yeah, I know they need to do a
it.
lot of things, but we got to the point in our lives being part of the Ashes family. We were like, we take what we get and we don't
Like,
bitch about it.
If that was the case, if it was based on shield animations, they go through the animation like 2 or 3 times before going to the next animation and skill. If they did the first one where it showed off like they go through different angles. They did the first one where it was showing off the skill with the fire thing, and then did the second angle with like a blue glowing weapon and it shot out ice or water. Then it's like the element changes based on the weapon.
Yeah, but they can also argue this is in pre-alpha, alpha 1, so they don't have to show that necessarily. This is for testing purposes.
They can make that argument. Yes, they can make that argument now and later, but just without them saying that, without you actually like thinking that, you're automatically thinking this is just how the skill looks.
Mm.
You can make that argument
I
later
mean,
on.
we
and
just
I
have to wait and see if it's a locked in animation for the tank. Then I would say fire, no thank you. If it's based on what sort of weapon you wield, then I say yes, awesome, because then you can make a tank that is good versus ice. He has more fire effects.
That'd be kind of crazy if they were able to do that by elemental type on your weapon.
That would make sense to me if they wait. Do we have like fire resistance, ice resistance in the game?
I have been. All right, so that's another theory crafty topic that I want to get into like later on. But like
Okay.
that, we don't have that 100%. Like that's not a thing that's in the game right now. I do want that, and I want to talk about it. I think it'd be a cool thing. We can talk about it later after.
Okay. So
talk
if
about
that
other theory
if
crafty.
that would be a thing, if we would have element resistance and stuff like that within the game, and this then can be swapped for depending on what element you want to run with, then yes, I say this is a really cool, customization thing. I take it. But if it's just the plain tank effect for the tank on that specific skill, then I say lose the fire. Just lose the fire. Because as soon as you add fire to anything, it becomes magical. So I don't see this as a purely physical tank. For me, this is like Bell Sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I get you on that.
What's the next topic? Do we still have one?
Wait, I
There we
kind of
go.
want to talk about tank for a little bit. I have one
Okay.
more comment on tank.
All right, go for it.
PvP wise, man. Like, we were talking about this the other day. Like, I think tank out of the 3 classes revealed so far, tank is looking busted in PvP. Offense, defense, so much interruption. Like, and then they have gap closers. Like I said before. Now, obviously, we don't know the cooldowns on these abilities or what abilities they're sharing, like global cooldowns and stuff like that. But just looking at it, how they're shown it to us right now, if you were to just put those skills together, think about how devastating that this class is in PvP at the moment. Like, it's pretty insane.
It'd be a good topic. I think it's a topic that's rather dangerous to talk. I think everyone in here is in the Alpha 1 and has actually played the tank and played a little bit of the PvP and knows like what things are like, but we can't talk about that. Like what was going in the alpha. So like I don't think we can safely talk about this particular like where the tank sits in PvP.
But what? No, we can talk about that.
Not safely.
Well, Steven talked about this in public before, where they stated that the tank is meant not to be a damage dealer, more like crowd control and
in the finished product.
Yeah, in the
he's talking about the alpha right now.
Oh yeah, Alpha 1 it's broken.
Why we can't?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious though.
Because of the same reasons he just gave. Like we talked about this.
There's so much interruption, so much gap closing, and if you don't have the damage numbers severely reduced or nerfed, then this class runs away with everything. They're offensive, defensive. If you don't have a tank, if you don't have multiple tanks in your PvP group, you're fucked. Like I'm thinking about this from a mage perspective. If I'm sitting there as a mage trying to get my spells off, this tank is up my ass before I can get my whole rotation out, and then. If we're trying to engage on their squishies, the tank is just sitting on top of their squishies and just interrupting everybody. So I mean, like you want to play rogue into this? You want to take a rogue and try to take out their squishies? Good luck, because the tank's sitting on top of their squishies, just peeling for them all day. So I just think this is extremely broken in its current state. And like you said, the damage numbers for sure will have to be nerfed into the ground if that's even going to be like viable in PvP, because it's OP. And like I said, maybe small scale. They're going to be OP, large scale, not as much, but small scale PvP, they look like ridiculous right now.
So if the damage numbers would be on par with like other classes, then yeah, this would be broken. In the finished product, that is. How it is in Alpha 1, I don't know. Have to wait and see.
Yeah. I like what they have though in this kit, because like any melee class, your biggest problem is getting on top of your target, right?
Yeah.
Like Death Knights, they had their little gap closure thing, but this one has multiple gap closures. It's insane. And if they're gonna have multiple gap closures, then you're gonna have to have like multiple escape options. The rock paper scissors thing, that strength weakness thing, the windows of opportunity. Like for mage, I think we have like a blink. That's it. And if you don't use your blink at the right time, you're pretty much screwed. And they have multiple ways. If I miss you with the javelin, I'm coming at you with the onslaught. If I miss you with that, I can hit you with another ability. So there's multiple ways for them to kind of make up the ground for getting to you. So I don't know. I just think it's tank has always been an issue with PvP in like almost every game. I feel like in the beginning of every single like MMO or any map, even freaking League of Legends for that matter, like tank is super hard to balance, because you don't want to make them so like useless in damage, but then you don't want to make them too strong to where they can just build tank items and just like dominate the game. You know what I mean? In this case here, it's abilities. Like you have so many abilities that give you defensive capabilities, but then you're still dishing out damage. So it's a really fine balancing act, and I think it's
If you
just
can dish out damage and take it extremely well too,
Yeah,
then you're
yeah.
just broken. Especially
Exactly.
if you pair it with say you paired this with a cleric and you got a bunch of self heals,
Yeah.
you'd
Yeah.
be unkillable. Like there's a bunch of like in Arcade, there's a
Oh
bunch
no,
of
there's a
tank
bunch of
classes
broken. Yeah, they're
that you can go but you can do a bunch of healing like I'm unkillable classes in that game. But like
Yep.
if you go the I'm unkillable route, you can do no damage. Like you do shit for damage.
I mean, it depends on what game it is. For example, if just taking World of Warcraft as an example, because this is what comes to mind right now. When Cataclysm, way back in the day, came out, Death Knight, fucking broken in PvP, fucking
Yep,
broken.
That's why I talked about DK, because that was like the broken ass class.
Yeah,
like, stupid.
Flag carrier, fucking, you couldn't kill it. It could kill you instantly. or right now, Protection Paladin is also a tank class.
Yep.
It can heal itself. It can fucking destroy you, right? So
I mean, Warrior back in the day, they're like in the original World of Warcraft, I heard was super broken. I never played, but I heard like original Warrior. Was,
yeah,
like,
Fury Warrior,
stupid
fuck
broken.
yeah, you fucking hate it.
Yeah,
I
stupid
had
broken.
I had
I
They were
four.
still killable though with.
Yeah, in
I
PvP.
mean, if we're talking vanilla, they were still killable with rank 1 frostbolts.
I mean, everything was killable with fucking frostbolts in vanilla.
No, anything that had a range option, which warriors didn't.
The problem with any melee class, especially ones that don't have gap closers in most games. So I'm kind of glad that there are gap closers in this one. Compared to range classes, mage, anything that's ranger, whatever, you're always at a disadvantage because they can kite you. You cannot kite them. You have to get close to them. You have to stay close to them. And they mostly always have a way to get away from you because of that fact. Because as soon as you hit them, that's where your playhouse is. So the way that I see them making the tank work is not to increase or give them like, tank can now do damage. Fuck damage dealers. 40 tanks. Ha! Is for the tank to be a CC freaking monster. To literally force people to attack the tank, to be able to jump at people, and not necessarily one-shot them, just like reduce casting speed, reduce, movement speed. Like a warlock with debuffs would do, just like, jumping on them and being next to them. So the gap closers work. But if the tank, depending on the gear, whatever he has, does also a lot of damage, then you run into a problem, because then you will have more people running tank because they can deal out the same amount of damage as a damage dealer, therefore making damage dealers that are more kill friendly. Exactly. You can throw them out. I mean, there, for example, in Guild Wars 2, which, large scale PvP, world versus world, there is a reason why most guilds run with mostly guardians in world versus world. Can heal, can take a lot of damage, can deal out a lot of damage. Good. Exactly. Yep. So it will be interesting for them to make the tank work in a large scale PvP. In PvE, not a question, easy fix.
Yeah.
PvP.
Oh no! In large scale, the issue with the tank is that it's just a single target thing, where everyone else has AOE options.
Yeah.
Like we can't say, but single tank. Yeah.
Tank
we can't talk anymore about it.
Tank rolls are not a thing in like large scale PvP. Like you can just avoid the tank. Like in raids and stuff, tank like mobs will focus the tank because of like aggro mechanics and like shit and like taunts.
I think
have taunts in large scale PvP. If they made it to where like I do a taunt skill or like something similar, and you get a debuff for ignoring the tank. Like you have to kill the tank, or you get a or it's gonna like you try to focusing on anybody else besides the tank, you're gonna get a debuff. Then it's that's a preferable like method. It makes the tank class
for large scale. Yeah,
it makes the tank class a actual viable class, like an actual role to play in large scale PvP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like if, and I'm sure you guys have probably seen this or tested this, but like the abilities, like even with when you're attacking multiple mobs at once, can hit multiple things. So I'm thinking like these knockdown abilities can hit multiple folks. It's not just single target only.
Yeah,
so
it's not.
if people are grouped up together and a tank runs into a group of people and does his little knockdown ability, he should, in theory, be able to knock down multiple targets with that one ability. So he isn't as restricted as other MMOs where you do the single target knockdown like you're saying. I think in this case there's going to be more viability in large scale. It's just like you guys have been saying this whole time. It's just how are the damage numbers going to be, and how does that translate to large scale? Like medium to small scale, I think tank is fucking amazing. Like if you're doing like caravan runs, like anybody doing a caravan, like you need a tank. You need a few tanks. You need a few to defend your caravan because that's your medium to small scale PvP. And I think it's just OP. And then, like if you're a smart team too, like whoever your damage dealers are that stay off from the distance and they're just shooting shit off from the distance there, you're gonna have people sit on top of those people too to counter engage their DPS trying to kill your DPS. So it's just like a chess match at the end of the day. But I still think tank is extremely versatile, extremely scary as far as the balancing is concerned. So we'll see.
Hmm.
I mean, they're gonna run into balancing issues way before release.
Like I said before, I think looking at the tank video, I think you have to think like these aren't the actual skills of the tank. I think the tank is filling a role right now of
For testing, like APOC,
for
Yeah.
for testing an APOL. I think it's filling
makes
a
sense.
role of I'm the up close melee ranged fighter, less of a tank. They have tanky things to them, but I think they fill more of that warrior role right now.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It's a kind of catch all right now.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah, that makes sense. We'll see. I guess we shall see.
Which is also why, like, number one, the skills look the way they are, and number two, like the skills he has. Because like you look at this and it's like, how many of these are actually like say like, oh, I'm a tank. There's
Not
like
that
one or
many.
two.
Not that,
Yeah, one or two are
Yeah,
actually
like
like
a
tank.
couple of them. Like there's a few of them that were tanky, but then you saw the single like you kept alluding to like the fighter. Like it looked, some of those were definitely fighter looking abilities.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else to add?
We have well,
To the tank
oh, it's the
topic.
tank one. Okay.
Anything left to add?
I mean, I think it's a given that they're going to have a lot of balancing issues, as you guys said. But I only have like one simple question: how would you want the PvP to roll out? Do you want it to be rock paper scissors type of deal?
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. That's already
Yeah, it's
confirmed.
Yeah, there has to be a counter to every class, or at least most of the classes. I mean, otherwise everybody's going to run the meta. Everybody's going to run that same exact class, and you're going to see a situation where a very small class diversity in large scale PvP
Yeah,
or whatever PvP.
but I do agree with you, but you have a lot of classes. Not a lot of classes. You got A classes, but you have a lot of subclasses. How are you gonna make counters for those?
Well, I
Because
mean, we need to know how the subclass impacts the primary class. So I mean, that's the first and foremost thing, or archetype, or whatever. And then from there, then that goes into the balancing act. But like primarily, if we're just talking about this 8, let's talk about the 8 first. You know, like this
Yeah.
first primary 8. There's got to be a rock paper scissors between those 8 in order for the rest of this thing to work. Because if not, everybody's just gonna run whatever's broken. Everybody's gonna run whatever's broken. They're gonna see. They're gonna be tested in alpha, beta, and then they're gonna come out the game. Everybody's gonna be running the same shit. You know. And obviously the game it balances out over time. They're just gonna make a new character and roll whatever's meta at the time. Everybody always goes meta at the end of the day. They always are trying to squeeze out, especially if you're min
That's
maxing.
true.
Yoni,
So.
correct me, but rock paper scissors is already confirmed, right?
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
already said it's gonna be rock paper
Yeah.
scissors. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody got anything?
I just said the question again, BCG, just so I know everybody's stance on it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Balancing to me is a big passion topic because it's never easy and it's never typically done great.
Here's my whole thing with the balancing the classes, right? Yeah. So in theory, making rock paper scissors easy, right? In practice, completely different because you cannot expect the way people play. So Alpha 2 is going to be the point where everything in that nature needs to be tested. So that's going to be for me because I expect them to bring out every class we go into testing within 2 weeks. you're gonna have a meta within 2 weeks. Something's gonna crystallize out, and everybody's gonna run. I don't know, mage, bard, mage, something. So
100%.
so at that point, you're gonna see how prepared they are for that. Because yes, on in theory, on paper, you can calculate and do all that stuff, but you don't implement human behavior and the way people play their characters. Yes, you can say, yeah, we made this based on somebody that is really good. Not everybody's really good. So
Yeah.
with Alpha 1 testing, we should probably expect a couple more classes coming out before then. I think it's already been hinted at and like already stated, like, hey, this is this. Like probably expect more classes with Alpha 1. And then Alpha 2, we're not gonna see a couple classes till Alpha 2. Like Summoner and Bard, they've already said those 2 classes you won't see till Alpha 2.
Yeah, they said 6 of 8 will come out in Alpha 1, right? That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aligns with what my understanding was.
all right, anybody got anything left to add to the tank topic? Because otherwise, I don't know if we should pick up another one or we should just call it a day. Trying to figure.
I'm okay with either. If we want to do the Alpha 1 topic.
I mean, it's Valentine's Day, and
Valentine's Day. It's a gift to the community.
I want to pretend like I have somebody waiting for me, but in real, I'm just gonna sit in the bathtub and cry. So
The shower on, just setting up a little.
I already
fetal position,
already took a shower, so I'm just gonna cry.
Sit in
Nah,
the fetal position.
and I
crying
think
cold.
we met our 1 hour mark, so we're good.
You don't want to talk about any of our theory crafty topics?
Nah, because I know we're gonna go for fucking hours again.
We are gonna go for hours again.
I know. And you seem tired, Yoni. You seem a little bit tired. Normally you don't
No.
sit back like this.
No, I sit back towards the end of the towards the end of the stream.
I
usually
never
just,
seen you
like,
sit
pinch
like this in
down,
the podcast.
And then yeah.
Same with
I don't know.
Stackers, and he's like working right now.
Oh no, I'm just looking at the stuff we were talking about.
I'm gonna call it. We're done for today.
Calling it.
I'm calling it.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the usual speech. If you're a long-time viewer of us, you know how this goes. Thank you all for watching. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, stay the fuck away from people.
Next podcast will be the 28th.
Next podcast will be in 2 weeks, the 28th. And Steve, thanks for joining us. You're always welcome to come back. It was fun having you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it, and appreciate the orc mage life. I see you, man.
And everybody else, like I said, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you on the Ashes of Creation Community Discord. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.
We out.